finding love in chaos. That's what we're talking about today. Welcome to Relationship Theory with myself, Michael Bryce, and Valter Feleja. Valter, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, brother.
You're welcome. And today we're talking about finding love in chaos. Love in chaos. What is going on? The world is chaotic. And today we're talking about the feminine movement or the feminist movement versus the red pill community. These red pilled men who, man, we're going to get into it and it's going to be fun. I don't want to go on a rant right now, but let's talk about this, right? We're going to talk about what it is, this feminist movement, this red pill environment that's happening amongst men, and people wondering, why can't I find anybody? We're at conflicting ends. Why is it that we can't find anyone? Why can you not find somebody who has the values and the, what it is you're looking for? So, Valter, what have you been finding? Because I know we've been both watching a lot of this stuff over the years, and now it's just getting crazy.
Yeah, I think, like, again, understanding what these two things are, and to me, they're just extreme pendulum swings, right? Like, it starts with the feminist movement, which the intention is good. Obviously, we want women to be educated and be empowered and to, get jobs that they desire and whatever, to be able to vote and all that type of jazz, right? If you want to get married, not get married, you want to have kids, not have kids, you want to live the life you desire, I think that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that to me. The problem is it went to an extreme level, right? And the extreme level is that you're almost being taught, not almost, you are being taught that essentially you don't need men and men are garbage. Like that's the message that comes across. And when you get that, guess what happened? So you get that long enough that the pendulum swung the other way in more recent time. Now that's which led to the red pill movement. The red pill movement essentially is like, be the best man you can be this huge alpha male guy, build muscle, get ripped, make money, and bang chicks. Okay, that's essentially what they say. And basically get to a point where you have no emotional connection to these women and that you just manipulate them mentally, understanding women's psychology, and then control them and have as many as you want from them. It's essentially the message that you hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, it makes no sense. You just went to another extreme, which makes no sense to really what most people want is to connect with someone who's amazing. Right. And, these men are searching for answers and they want a fantastic woman, but they're being taught to basically use these women and be so far from who they should be. And the women on the opposite side are like, oh yeah, I really want a guy, but like they're also being brainwashed to think they don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if we're doing a short little summary there, right? So me and Mike see this all the time and we're just like, oh my God. Then they wonder why I can't find a good guy. I can't find a good girl.
Yeah.
Right. So like I don't know what you seem like, but I'm sure that's a little breakdown for most people who are watching this right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is so many times, like in the feminist movement and that side, it's like, well, you can do everything on your own. You can have it all on your own, and it's hard. It's hard to have it all on your own. They've taken away the nuclear family. They've taken away what it is to, raise children. It's hard, right? It's hard enough to raise children. Imagine working full time, doing everything and then not having support. And unfortunately right now, a lot of women who do have kids, they don't have the support even though they're with someone. Like that's a whole other mind twist to it, right? Because the guy is going, well, that's your responsibility. I do this X, Y, and Z. You got to take care of the kids. And that's where that red pill mentality starts to come in, right? And I say red pill because it's not like, you're a conservative. This is extreme. Like red pill is the extreme opposite end of conservatism. And so it's not that. It's more about, I'm everything. So you have to serve me and I don't have to do shit for you. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like a kid, a baby came out of her parts and you're not going to do everything you can to help her. Are you insane? right? But that's what
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah. Like again, it's like when you're in relationships, right? In a relationship, it's going to cause an issue because I've seen that as well. I've seen people in the relationship already, right? And it's like that woman goes down that rabbit hole and she's like, I don't need this guy. I can do this. And she just starts beating him down.
Mhm.
Especially she's at his financial level or higher, she'll just start to crush him because of that belief system. And vice versa. I've seen it where guys like goes down that rabbit hole, the red pill movement. And it's like, oh well, you should be doing this, and I'm top G, I'm this and I'm that. And it's like, oh, okay. Like they're missing the point of creating a life together and being a team,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of that.
Yeah. It's insane. But so and then they wonder why can't I find someone who I can get along with and I can cuddle up on the couch with and just, I do this and he does that, and then we come together, right?
Hmm.
We've lost track of individualism plus actual connection. Like connecting right now is really hard, and a lot of people, we don't know how to do it. We don't know
Hmm.
how to ask questions, or we don't know how to have a deeper conversation, and then be able to actually listen to what the person's saying, take it, and say, okay, where is this possible? Because they're seeing something that I might not be seeing.
Hmm.
How many times have somebody's pointed something out and you're like, what are you talking about? I don't do that. I don't do that. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear this. Right. And then if
Hmm.
you ask the question, well, where is this possible? What could this possibly be telling me? Or why do they see it? Instead of just saying, oh no, and shutting it down. Right. So if you're
Yeah.
not connected, that's what you'll do. You'll just shut it down. You don't want to hear it. But when you're connected to that person and you're open to listening, that makes that's a game changer. But it's lacking
Absolutely.
right now. It's absolutely lacking. So what do you see when people are talking to you, when you have your clients talking to you and they're going through these experiences? Because we have both single people and married people going through the exact same thing.
Yeah. I think again, I'm a big stickler on be careful what you feed your mind, right?
Mm,
So if you're a single person out in the dating scene, right, which is very daunting in today's world because in one way you don't know where to find them, but you also have all these apps that connect you with so many people that it makes it probably that much more confusing.
mhm,
But that these belief systems that we're talking about, these extreme um, ideologies of like feminism or red pill, it's like it's confusing these people, right?
mhm,
So you have like the woman who's like, okay, I want to meet somebody there. She's consciously aware of it, and I want, this type of man and this type of relationship and all this type of stuff. But it's like everything in her is saying she doesn't even need the guy, even though she consciously wants it.
mhm.
So when she does get a guy into her reality, guess what happens? She'll eventually push it away because the guy's trying to be, especially a higher value man is going to be like, okay, I want to do nice things for you, and it's like she's not used to it. She's used to
Mhm,
doing things on her own. And
mhm,
guess what's going to happen? She's going to think, okay, well, I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know if I deserve this, or I don't need this guy. Who does this guy think he is? There's so many things that pop up that I've heard. I'm like, no, accept it. You deserve it. He's trying to treat you well,
mhm,
right? Um, so I've seen things like that where like they'll push those things away, which makes it very confusing because I'm like, you're saying you want a good quality man, but then when you get it, you push him away. Or you constantly say how you don't need anybody, but then
mhm,
you want somebody.
mhm.
Like this is the vicious cycle, which will create you to be alone or to be with a partner that you actually don't desire.
Mhm,
Because a lot of these women tend to be in heavy masculine energy. And what tends to happen, if that's not their natural state, they tend to attract a very feminine man. And in
mhm.
the beginning, there's still sexual polarity, so there's still some form of attraction. But over time, she will resent that guy because he's not in his divine masculine and she's not in her divine feminine.
Yeah.
And there is no space for that if that woman is in an extreme feminist state.
Yeah.
Okay. And then vice versa for the guys, right? The guys is like, okay, I want this good quality woman, this, that, that. And then she's trying to build herself up, and these guys are like, no, I'm the man, I can do everything, I don't need, like, I'll take care of this and you should just take care of the kids. And whoa, okay, like
Mhm.
like the idea should be building each other up,
Mhm.
not being intimidated or trying to play like flexing your muscles to say, no, I'm the man and I'm in control of everything. That's the other extreme I've seen too, especially when a guy hits a certain level of success, he's built himself up. Instead of finding that partner, that love, and that connection, and helping build that woman up as well, it's more of like, no, I'm in control. And when I see people who want to control, that means they're very insecure, because you can't control really anything, right? If you're coming from a place of love and divine masculine, you lead, but you don't control. And then that's the red pill really missing. And then
Yeah.
which leads to issues with that woman. It tends to be like, okay, I can't handle this.
Mhm.
I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you'll only take it for so long. But there are also people who cling to that energy, right? Because that they
That's
feel that that's all
true.
that they deserve. It's like you keep treating me
Hmm.
like shit. I keep giving you nothing but love, nothing but love. And this happens on both men and women. So it happens to both of us, right? I keep giving
Yep.
you love, but you keep crapping on me all the time. Why? What else can I do for you? And and that leaves you leaving feeling lost, unworthy of love. You're not feeling, you don't feel, you're in constant pain. You don't feel appreciated. You don't feel good enough. You don't feel, I mean, I've been there, man. It's a low point in life. And you're like, what is wrong with me? Right?
Hmm.
Why can't I be loved? Why can't I give and get? Just give me
Yeah.
something, right? And it's sad when people start giving you like just some breadcrumbs. They give you a little bit of glimpse of hope here and there. It's like one of my clients said years ago. She said, I feel like I'm that dog waiting for the scraps from the table, right? You're just
Hmm.
getting little bits. And it's like, why can't I just have somebody who wants me and wants to be with me
Hmm.
instead of these guys that I've been dating? And it realistically, it doesn't have to be that way, but some
Yeah.
people believe that's what they have. I mean, this is all subconscious. This is all in your subconscious mind, and you get programmed over time to believe that this is what you did. This is all you deserve. This is it for life.
I've seen it
And
so often. It's like, sorry, Mike, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, finish. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, just because it's like one of those things, like, again, we're talking about subconscious programming, and we might dive into this deeply in our coaching, especially with Mike and his uh hypnotist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypnosis it's amazing, because I think that's a missing key to dive into things that you just can't reach on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've seen so many times that people have a poor self-image and their idea of relationships are shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe relationships are dramatic or chaotic. And it's
Mm-hmm.
what we're talking about today. Finding love in chaos. And
Yeah.
people think love is chaos. Love is dramatic. So again, a story I might have shared before, but I remember dating this one girl, and she was Afghani background. Okay. So she used to love watching Bollywood movies, and that was her thing, right? If you've I was not a big Bollywood guy. That was not my thing, right? But I've seen these type of things, and I watched it with her, and I was like, oh my God, everything's about drama.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's about drama and okay. And then it's like same with like telenovelas, like Latin soap operas or Portuguese or Brazilian or these type of Spanish, Italian soap operas, okay? Or just a soap opera, if we're gonna talk in general. Everything is about drama, okay? And love is connected to drama and chaos, okay? So now imagine feeding your mind this, if since you're probably a kid, to a grown adult. And majority of people who watch that are going to be women, but some guys will watch it too, okay? So you watch that, and now guess what your subconscious programming is, that you think love is dramatic,
Mm-hmm.
love is chaotic. So now she attracts a man like myself who brings peace. And there was an issue where she introduced me to her friends, a couple of friends. I meet her friends, and she meets one of my friends. We're out for coffee. She's playing frisbee, and her friend wrote a book. So me and my buddy are really interested that she wrote her book. So we're talking. Apparently, she got jealous that I was paying attention to her friend. that she wanted me to introduce. She introduced me, and she wanted me to like her friends, right? That would
Mhm.
only make conscious sense. But she was like, I'm gonna go home and and I knew she was upset, and I let her go because she's a grown adult and she could do whatever she wants. Now she's not used to that. What she was upset that I let her go.
Mhm.
I let her. A grown woman is upset that a man let her go.
You should have fought
Again,
for
that's
her to
programming.
stay.
Very good. Very good. Okay. That's her thinking. So I'm like, what you're telling me is you want to chase you down, kick your door down and be like, never leave me again and make sweet love to you against the wall. Is that what you think a good relationship is? That is fucking crazy.
Mhm.
Okay. That is movie bullshit. Not healthy.
Mhm.
Okay. But people think that is why, because it ignites certain emotions, certain feelings that you're programmed to think that love should be dramatic and chaotic.
And that's your passion. You're passionate if that's how you are.
That's how it's
That's not,
defined.
what's that?
That's how it's, yeah, you're right. That's how it's defined. It's
Yeah.
passionate. That's what they'll
That's
say.
not passion. That's insane. That's chaotic. That's crazy.
Yep.
Love is
Mhm.
peace. Love is kind. Love is caring. Love is, I mean, it's very different than that.
Very
Love
different.
is, you can come to me with anything and say anything you want, and I'm not going to blow up on you. You know, if when you're
Mhm.
living in chaos, it destroys your nervous system, right? You're walking on
Mhm.
eggshells and you don't feel like you can say anything or you can do anything or nothing you can ever do is right or whatever. I mean, and it's nonstop. Like this chaos that happens, it's too much. So your body responds, your nervous system starts to shut down. And then when you try to get it back on track, it doesn't know how to. You don't know how to. Your mind stays stuck to your nervous system because when it's in chaos, it's peaceful, but it's not. You're in constant
Mhm.
stress. You got stress all over your body, your mind, and then what happens is it affects your relationship. So you're trying to find love in a state of chaos, right? Or if you're in a relationship in a state of chaos. So, he doesn't do, I don't know, whatever it is. He doesn't pick up after himself. He doesn't do his laundry, or he doesn't at least get things prepared for me, right? A lot of women, I hear these things from women, and men will say, "Well,
Yep.
she doesn't do, this. She doesn't do whatever." And it, it's night and day. It's like, why can't we just come together and take a minute?
Mhm.
And, because in the beginning, you could talk about anything, right? You can talk about
Yeah.
whatever it is, and you're fine, and you don't get offended, you don't get this, you don't get that, whatever that emotion is that comes up for you, you don't get it in the beginning, but then over time you forgot to put your stuff down. It's still back in the subconscious mind area, and now you start to get angry at the same things that you thought were endearing and adorable and loving, right? So,
So true.
but it's that chaos that you're so used to, and your nervous system starts to take over, and it will create chaos if there's none there. Like your example.
Yeah.
That's
Like
that's that's just
insane. That's what
it
it is. It's
is.
insanity.
It really is,
Right?
and it's sad.
It's it is. And how many people are experiencing this as we speak? Tons.
Mhm.
Like there's one client I had, she finally does the work and she's at a place of peace.
Mhm.
Okay. Like everything's going well, her schooling, her work, she's fit, like everything's lining up. Okay. But she ends up meeting a guy who is actually kind and treats her well. And what was her response? This is boring. This is boring. That's what she said. So
Mhm.
again, back to what Mike's saying, your subconscious mind and your body are addicted to the thoughts, the feelings, um, the neurotransmitters and hormones you release, right? When you feel this chaos and um, like this nonsense you think is love.
Mhm.
Okay. It's addicted to it. It's addicted to the food you eat, the things you would do, the words you would say, everything. You don't realize it, but it is. So when she finally got to that state of peace, her mind, subconscious mind, and body are like, this is boring. again, because the belief is like chaos is love, drama
Mhm,
is love. Okay. And body's yearning. Where's that stress hormone at?
mhm.
Right? Where is that at? Like it's crazy. So it's like once I educated her on that, I was like, okay, you gotta remember, first of all, your words that are choosing are not true. It's only boring because that's what you're used to. Because you gotta find love in the peace. Because when you actually find that peace within you, what this man is bringing you is going to be, you know, exponential more, exponentially more loving. You'll feel it. You'll allow yourself to feel it. You'll break down all those belief systems in your body, and you'll start to find that connection with him that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, right? Is if you can actually sit in calm. A lot of people can't
Mhm.
sit, they can't just sit in calm and be still
Nope.
and relax. I mean, I have ADHD, so it's a little bit harder. It's more challenging for me. And but I
For
understand
sure.
that. I appreciate why it is. Like if I start shaking or if I, start rocking back and forth or whatever it is, but I know what it is. So,
Hmm.
that's has nothing to do with I'm bored, I'm this, I'm that. It just happens, right? So
Yeah.
I need to be, my mind's constantly moving 100 miles an hour, where sometimes, like right now, where I have to slow myself down to be able to catch myself so I can actually say something that makes sense versus running a whole bunch of sentences together that are going on in my mind, right?
For sure.
But it happens. But at least I'm aware of it and I can do something
For
about it.
sure.
Whereas
For sure.
if I was ready to just live in chaos, I would be drumming up stuff, making up stuff, allowing one little thing to create a giant story that has nothing to do with what's actually going on. And that state of chaos that I keep getting drawn back to and getting pulled back to, um, man, it's a tough place. And that's where, learning how to separate, right? Learning how to detach yourself from certain things is so
Mhm.
necessary so that you're not living in that state of chaos. So now this feminist and this is red pill guy, they're addicted to the chaos and they come together. Oh my God, there's no chance. You have no chance.
Zero.
There's no chance. Absolutely. And if you get a guy who is, for the ladies, if you get a guy who is somewhat masculine but yet still feminine because of whatever's going on, or if he's just not, he doesn't know how to show up for you, right? That
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what you even call that. He just doesn't know how to show up. Doesn't matter what it is, it just is. He doesn't know how to be there. He doesn't know how to do things. He doesn't know how to be chivalrous. And that happens because they get so addicted to whatever their upbringing was, or whatever their last relationship, or whatever series of relationships they've had. And then a lot of times the women will be like, why can't you just do, why am I not good enough for you to change? Why can't you change this? It's one simple
Hmm.
thing. All I want you to do is, I don't know, take out the garbage. And you can't take out the
Sure.
garbage, right? Why? Why is that? Why is it a constant fight? Why is it that, you know, when you take my car, you leave it on empty?
Yeah.
What is that? Right? But again, it's these little things, and a lot of people aren't very mindful or thinking about the other person because they're absorbed in their own mind, their own chaos, and they only worry
Mhm.
about themselves.
Yeah.
That's what
I find
happens.
again, so but that thinking aligns with the extreme feminism and red pill stuff, right? It's
Mhm,
about it's a chaotic way of thinking. It's about me, me, me. And I don't need them, and they don't like, technically, if you really think about it, we don't need each other in today's world.
mhm,
Technically, that's true.
mhm,
But believe me, together, we are way more powerful. We
mhm,
can build things together. Life becomes much easier when you're with a partner that you're aligned with and you're in love with.
mhm.
And if you're both growing as individuals and growing together, nothing can stop you. It makes life
Ab-
so much better.
It makes it easier.
Yeah,
Life is
it really
hard.
does.
It's so hard.
Yeah, can be for
Like,
sure.
can you imagine juggling your
Mhm.
job and juggling kids and juggling, if you have pets, juggling this all by yourself? Oh my God.
I
Like,
could.
and not having support and having somebody show up for you that cares, that wants to do that. I know this happens to single dads and single moms, right?
Yep.
And it even happens within a family. It's like they don't have that
Yep.
support. Even sometimes when they're together, the guy is so far gone. He's either an alcoholic or he's spending all his money on that, drugs, whatever. And
Yep.
so he's not really supporting anyway. It's like, what, dude? What are you
Yep.
doing? What is wrong with you? But
Yep.
how do you show up, right? How does somebody show up for you? So let's give some examples on so the opposite end, right? So we're going on a lot about the negatives. Let's
Sure.
look at some of the positives for the next little bit just before we wrap up here. So let's look at what are some things that you want to look for in that person so that you can see, okay, this is a good person. This is somebody who I will be able to rely on.
It's a great question. Okay, so I feel like if you still go into that, like the idea of those two ideologies started good, but ended up going too extreme. So what they started with is what I think you should be looking for, right? So if you're looking at a man to a woman, it's like, okay, I want a woman who has that self-love and is in her divine feminine and who is very connected to who she is and what she desires and understands what she wants. And that might look like different things to different people, and that's totally okay. Because if that woman is very content with who she is, what she does, and she knows what she wants, she's going to be a great partner. Okay. Same with the guys. Women look for a man. To me, it's like you need to look for a man who is confident, who's strong mentally, emotionally, spiritually, ideally, and is looking to be a great provider, and not just financially, but in terms of protection, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually as well, and who's willing to take the lead and be a great partner and elevate that woman and vice versa. That's
Mhm.
kind of what in terms of what you should be looking for. I think that's what they were trying to create, but it got so extreme that it was like to a point where you basically despise men and disregard women and just use them for their body. That's kind of what
Well,
I see.
yeah, that's like any movement, any of these movements,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't care which one it is. They all started with good intentions, and they all go to the far extreme, and then they end up just hurting everybody involved. It just makes it just
Mhm.
gets bad, right? So yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. It is extremely hard to know what you want, right? I think that's where we need to start. Is like, what is it that you want? What do you need? If you keep finding this now, let's just say you've come across someone and you meet them and they've done a lot of work on themselves, and they just show up and they're ready to go because they've been through it, and then they go, you know what,
Mhm.
I don't want all of that anymore. I'm done. I can't keep going through that chaos. I can't live in that state. I can't be like that. So now they show up, and they show up in the way, and a person that you want, they show up whether you want them to or not, right? It's
That's true.
annoying how reliable they are, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the movie Blended, with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, but they're two independent parents, and they're talking about their kids, right? So they're like, it should be annoying how reliable a parent is for their child, right? You show
Mhm.
up, you show up, you show up, and for that other person, right? That needs to be normalized, right? And now when you
Yeah.
both can do that, right? It might take somebody who's not used to it, right? It takes them some time and whatever. However they can show up, they show up, but it's reliability, right? In whatever
Mhm.
capacity that is for you. And some people think,
Yeah.
oh, I need to be doing everything that you're doing for me, and that's not true, right? Because some people, they need you know a few things, but you won't know that unless you ask them,
Mhm.
right? So, unbelievably reliable, in one way or another. It doesn't matter which way that is. It's whatever you need, and if you don't know what you need, you have to express that. And if they do something that is kind of out of your comfort zone, you just let them know. And somebody who is evolved, someone who's evolved, they won't take that offense to that. They'll be like, okay, you're not ready for that yet. Right? Because
Mhm.
it can be overwhelming. It can be because you're used to chaos.
Yeah.
So when someone is ridiculously reliable and they show up and they just do things just because they need to get done, that's hard to find, one. And two, it's not hard to find if you actually are looking for it and you're open to it and don't push it away.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
subconsciously, right? It's not on purpose. It's just because you're used to a state of chaos. So your nervous system gets shocked when somebody is actually
Mhm.
reliable. They show up for you, they do these things, and they can take care of themselves
Yeah. Yeah.
because it becomes easy for them, right? It becomes easy for you. Like if you're somebody who gives from a giving place, you're not burning out because that's just you're getting pulled to it. You're not pushing through, right? If that makes sense, right? So if if you feel like you're pushing to try and meet somebody else's needs, that's hard. Like you won't sustain that. It's not, you just can't do it. But if you're getting pulled to them, right? You're
Mhm.
allowing your energy to get pulled towards them. So it's just allowing you. You're getting pulled. Getting pulled is easy. You just let it go. You
Mhm.
just go with it versus pushing and
Mhm.
fighting through. It's like trying to run through a brick wall. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And if you keep trying to do it,
Mhm.
you're going to keep bashing your head off that brick wall. And what's going to happen?
Mhm.
You're going to get resentful. You're going to get angry. You're going to, right? So the person who you're looking for is somebody who is, and it doesn't burn them out. They don't get angry. They're willing to talk. They'll listen to you. They'll take action, and this is on both sides. But
Mhm.
you have to be willing to go through it and accept it and allow those things to just evolve. Even if it's uncomfortable, just give it time and see how things progress and see how you feel. I mean, if you can find
Yeah.
those things, I mean, you're in good shape.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
amazing advice.
thank you. So, Valter, take us home. What is something that, let's say, one or two things where somebody needs to start so they can calm themselves down, right? Calm that inner chaos down so that they can now start to see things differently.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like recognizing, maybe diving into your like belief system. If you're one of those people that like actually resonate with this video, it's like, are you an extreme feminist or a hardcore red pill person, or a person who believes love is chaos and dramatic, right? Reevaluate your belief systems and kind of dive into why, and work on really understanding what love is and what a connection should look like and a relationship should look like, and also who you need to become to get that and to attract that type of partner. I think that's a major thing here, because a lot of people are so focused on what men should be like and what women should be like and this, that, but they're like not crystal clear on what they actually want and who they need to become. I
Mhm.
think that's a big part of this whole equation too. So if you're not aware of that, hopefully this video will make you aware. And if you're not sure, this is where me and Mike can come in and really help kind of figure this out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And the only thing I would add to that is, again, right? What do you want? And everything that you, and we've talked about this before, is everything that you want in another person, become that. When you
Hmm.
become that, and you might not even know where some of your, you might be lacking in certain areas. You might not know that. And that's okay. But think about the things that you want and then become that. So that's for like
Hmm.
anybody, right? Single people, people in a relationship, because it's never too late to change. You never wake up, and this is something somebody close to me said was, you never wake up the same person twice, right? You
Interesting.
evolve all the time, right? So tomorrow's a new day. Today is a new day, right? So you have a
Yeah.
chance to turn all of this around. So again, that's it. Start from what you want in another person, and then become that. And when you become that, you attract that. And if you're in a relationship already, you become that and you work with your partner on that. Right? Because when you get better, they get better. And sad to say, sometimes when you get better, they repel and they don't want to be with you. Right? So that'll speak a lot to that connection and how to come together. If they're not willing to change, and this goes both sides, this is both men and women, they do not want to change because it's painful and they like who they are. If they change, they lose their identity. Right? So now, again, who do you want? Like, what do you want in another person? And then become that and give that. Right? Yeah. And start showing up the way that you want to show up. So if you need any help with this, if this is something that resonates with you, please, click the like button, share this with somebody if you know somebody who's going through it. And, our contact information, click the link below and we'll, you can book with either one of us. We're happy to work with you, figure these things out. And I mean, that is it. We'll do everything that we can. And if we don't know, we'll point you in the right direction. So that is it from us. Thank you for joining us, Valter. A pleasure as always, and have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.